Welcome to the KayaCast podcast, presented by Kaya Push, the cannabis software making people management easy. The KayaCast is all about helping cannabis retailers launch, grow, and scale their business.
We're your hosts. I'm Maria McCliggett.
And I'm Tom Mulhern.
And today we're going to answer one of the top questions people ask when it comes to building a cannabis business. All right, Tom, before we start today, I have to know, what's the best perk you've ever had in a job? And did it make you want to stay longer there?
When I was a teenager, I actually worked at a bookstore. That was my high school job, was working at a bookstore. And one of the perks they had was that I got free books.
I'm literally so jealous.
I know. If you work in a bookstore and you get free books, you would never want to leave. That was one of the best perks. What about you, Maria? Have you ever had a really cool perk, and did it make you want to stay at your job longer?
Definitely, because for me, it was food. Every job I ever worked at that sold food, we got free food. And you always are just like, oh, I could quit, but that pasta is so good.
One of the biggest issues facing cannabis business owners right now is bud tender turnover. About 55% of bud tenders will turn over within a given year, and nearly 30% of newly hired bud tenders are going to turn over in the first 30 days. So you're constantly training new bud tenders, and then once you get them to the point where they're actually working well, they leave and go somewhere else. And we've found that some of the top bud tenders are much less likely to leave a store than poor performers. So those people that are doing really well in their job, are really happy in their job, really content, are actually staying. And those people that don't feel a part of the community of dispensaries are leaving. And that's a huge issue in the industry.
Yeah, of course. 'Cause engaged employees are going to be happy employees, and happy employees, they don't want to leave and they want to be committed to the business. But it's not just finding good employees, because that's only half the battle. It's keeping them. That's what the dispensaries are struggling with. So today we're going to talk about 5 ways to keep great employees and keep them engaged.
Now, the first way to keep your bud tenders happy is to promote total compensation, not just hourly wage. So, what do we mean by total compensation? Obviously, there's the hourly rates, and you need to provide a competitive salary, but there's other ways you can help your bud tenders have a good compensation rate, and that includes tips, commissions, benefits, and a huge thing for a lot of bud tenders is they want the discount on the product that they're selling. That's one of the reasons they got into cannabis, was the hopes of getting some free product or a discounted product. So offering discounts to your employees are going to make your employees happy. Another thing is prizes and incentives. Maybe you can have a prize for the top seller of the week or of the month, the all-star bud tender. These sort of things that go beyond just a paycheck really help people to feel a part of the community.
And of course, you're going to want to focus on investing in your employees with these growth opportunities. Growth is more important than promotions. Some businesses are small, and there's just not a lot of room for you to move up. So, how do we let our employees feel like they're growing without having to promote them? You can set them up for a career in the cannabis industry. So maybe this is management of the dispensary, but maybe it's something else. Maybe it's giving them the opportunity for education. They might want to do some sommelier training, like learning more about cannabis. It is craft buds after all. You can give them training in sales. Maybe they're going to tour some facilities and learn more about the actual growth of cannabis, which is only going to help them when they're interacting with customers.
The third way to improve your employee retention is to track employee progress. Because if you don't know how your employees are doing and you're not tracking that, how are you going to know how happy they are? So introducing tools like HR software to monitor your employees' progress and health and overall satisfaction is key. Maybe you have some unsatisfied employees that just haven't received the right tools or the right training, and tracking that in an integrated HR system like Kaya Push really helps you to know where your team is at and what you need to do, what you maybe need to pivot or change to make their experience at work even better.
So, as a business owner, there's other things you can do to keep your employees happy. One thing is to give them annual reviews and reward longevity. Employee reviews are a great tool to gauge how employees are feeling about work. You might want to check in with your employees to make sure that you're addressing any issues that come up. Having good communication with your employees is always key. Unhappy employees are going to produce poor work, and happy employees, of course, are more likely to go above and beyond for you. And this is all going to come down to how good your relationship is. And of course, publicly acknowledging your employees is always great. If they're doing a good job, they should know, and so should everyone else. Whether that means you're going to showcase an employee of the month photo in the back room, or you're going to use your punch in software to show a message to them when they get to work. It's a great way to be able to talk to your employees even if you're not there.
The last tip that we have for you for improving employee retention is really making work fun. If people are working in a fun environment, they're going to be more productive. Employees that are actually 12% more productive when they're happy at work. And we've all had those jobs where we work in a great environment and the people are amazing, and it just makes it more enjoyable to do your work. So doing some of those things such as team building activities or pre-shift meetings or even doing some charitable initiatives together are a great way to have fun together and boost that employee morale. We work in an industry that is all about the experience. We're selling an experience when we're selling the product to customers. And the experience of working should be a fun experience for your bud tenders. So show appreciation, have fun, and don't be afraid to be silly.
Managers to remember that your workforce, it's not just made up of employees, they're people. So you should try to build that relationship with them, recognize them when you can, and do everything you can to just make it a safe and fun work environment.
Keeping employees happy and keeping them growing in their career is going to help your business to really grow itself. Thanks for listening to the KayaCast podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast app or visit our website at kayacast.fm to learn more about our guests and to access the full archive of episodes of the show. We can't wait to share more stories with you each week of cannabis retailers launching, growing, and scaling their business.